Thinking about buying a new camera? Stop what you're doing for a second, because this video could literally save you hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars. Some of the most popular cameras out there right now are digital dinosaurs, and yet, companies are still happily taking your money for them. So, are you about to get ripped off? In this video, we're counting down the top 10 outdated cameras you should absolutely, under no circumstances, buy in 2025. Hey everyone, welcome! Today, we're peeling back the layers of the camera industry. It's a world full of amazing tech, but let's be real, it's also overflowing with marketing hype, recycled parts, and gear that is just a flat-out waste of your money. We've all seen the flashy ads and the glowing reviews from influencers who, surprise surprise, got the camera for free. But what happens when that hype train leaves the station, and you're left holding a camera that just doesn't cut it? That's exactly what this list is about. We've done the homework for you, digging past the marketing nonsense to find the cameras that are a terrible investment in 2025. Some are old tech in a shiny new box, some have deal-breaking flaws, and others are just plain bad value. Let's get into it. The countdown begins on System TUF TG7. Kicking things off at number 10 is the System TUF TG7. Now, on the surface, this thing sounds awesome, a super rugged, waterproof camera you can take on any adventure. Here's the problem. It's the exact same camera as its predecessor, the TG-6, with almost zero meaningful upgrades. In a world where your phone uses powerful AI to create stunning images, the TG7's tiny sensor just can't keep up. The photos look okay in perfect sunlight, but they completely fall apart the second conditions aren't ideal. And while it does shoot RAW, that doesn't magically fix the noisy, low-quality images coming from that tiny sensor. The real frustration kicks in when you realize you paid a premium for a new camera, only to find the photos from your iPhone look way better. You're buying toughness but sacrificing the one thing you actually wanted, the good picture. Honestly, you're better off just getting a rugged case for your phone. Panasonic Lumix FZ8OD NEXT Up, a classic beginner's trap, the bridge camera. Specifically, the Panasonic Lumix FZ8OD. The bait here is that insane 60x optical zoom lens. Sounds incredible, right? But here's the catch. That massive zoom is bolted to a teeny tiny 1.3-inch sensor the same size you'd find in a cheap point-and shoot from 10 years ago. So, while you can zoom in on a squirrel in the next zip code, the picture you get will be a noisy, soft, pixelated mess unless you're in the brightest possible sunlight. Imagine being on vacation, spotting a beautiful bird, and zooming all the way in. You take the shot, but when you look at it later, it's just a blurry blob. Your phone's digital zoom, powered by modern processing, would have given you a cleaner image. The FZ8OD preys on the idea that more zoom is better, but in 2025, that's just not true. Canon EOS M2O at number 8 is the Canon EOS M2O, and this one is on the list for one simple, brutal reason: the system is a dead end. Canon has officially killed its FM mount to go all in on the new RF mount system. Buying an M2O today is like buying a brand new car from a company that just went bankrupt. Sure, the camera works for basic snapshots, but you have zero upgrade path. No new lenses. No new bodies. You are buying a ticket on the last train to nowhere. The pain here is the buyer's remorse that creeps in a few months later. You'll start looking for a new lens, maybe a nice prime for portraits, and realize you're stuck with a tiny, discontinued lineup while everyone else is getting cool new glass. It's a dead-end street, and it's a frustrating spot to be in as a photographer. Pentax, look, Pentax has a loyal, passionate fanbase, and I get it. But we have to be honest. At number 7 is the Pentax KF, a camera that proves Pentax is the king of reheating leftovers and calling it a gourmet meal. The KF is just a slightly warmed-over version of the Pentax K70, a DSLR from years ago. It's got the same old sensor and the same old autofocus system. Sure, it has that classic optical viewfinder some folks love, but it's missing all the modern mirrorless magic, like reliable hybrid autofocus and video features that don't feel like they were programmed in 2012. The frustration here is the feeling of being left behind. You'll be wrestling with slow, clunky autofocus while your friends with mirrorless cameras are getting sharp shots every single time. The Pentax KF wasn't a bad camera in 2018, but selling it as new in 2025 is just wrong. Panasonic Lumix S1 number 6 is a fallen giant, the Panasonic Lumix S1R. When this camera came out, it was a high-resolution beast for pro photographers who needed every last drop of detail. The problem is, time has not been kind, and its biggest weakness was, and still is, its autofocus. Panasonic stuck with its contrast detect depth from defocus system while everyone else moved on to superior phase detection. The result? The camera visibly pulses and hunts for focus, especially in low light or when shooting video. It just can't hang with the competition. Imagine paying pro-level money for a camera only to have it miss focus during a paid shoot. It's maddening. For what this camera costs, even used, you can get a newer body with vastly better autofocus and video. The S1R is proof that even great image quality can't save a camera when its core tech is obsolete. Alright, we're at the halfway point, and trust me, it only gets worse from here. If this video is saving you from a camera catastrophe, do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button. We're all about giving you brutally honest advice to help you spend your money wisely. Your support means we can keep making videos without any fluff. The top 5 worst offenders. Nikon Z5. Kicking off the top 5 is the Nikon Z5. This one hurts because it's so close to being a good camera. It's Nikon's entry-level full-frame mirrorless, and on paper, it seems like a total bargain. But here's the trap: its tech was already dated at launch. The autofocus is a huge step down from Nikon's other Z cameras, and it really struggles with anything that moves fast. But its biggest sin is the video. The 4K video comes with a massive 1.7x crop. Let that sink in. You pay for a big, beautiful full-frame sensor, and the second you hit record in 4K, it turns into a crop sensor camera. The Z5 is the ultimate almost camera. You almost get good autofocus. You almost get full-frame 4K video. For a beginner buying their first serious camera, this is a terrible deal. You deserve gear that grows with you, not a camera you have to find workarounds for on day one. Sony ZV-1 II. At number 4, we've got a camera aimed squarely at vloggers, the Sony ZV-1 II. The first ZV-1 was a smash hit, so the sequel must be amazing, right? Nope. Sony made some truly baffling choices here. They gave it a wider lens, which is great, but then they took features away. The dynamic range is mediocre, the digital stabilization is no match for proper in-body stabilization, and the autofocus can be shaky in 4K. But the most insulting part, it still doesn't have a headphone jack. How do you sell a vlogging camera in 2025 without a way to monitor your audio? The ZV-1 II feels like it betrays the creators it's marketed to. You buy it thinking you're getting the perfect vlogging tool, but instead, you're fighting its flaws. It's a classic case of a company slapping Mark II on the box and hoping you don't notice it's not the upgrade you actually needed. Canon EOS R cracking our top 3 is another full-frame disappointment, the Canon EOS RP. When it launched, its big selling point was making full-frame mirrorless affordable. But in 2025, affordable just means outdated. The RP is built around an ancient sensor and an even older processor. The result? The autofocus is slow, the dynamic range is poor, and the burst shooting can't keep up. And the 4K video? It suffers from that same crippling crop as the Z5, and even worse, it disables Canon's legendary dual-pixel autofocus. This camera is the definition of a false economy. You save a little money upfront, but you're buying a camera that's already years behind. That frustration will hit you hard the first time you try to track your kid running at the park, or when you switch to 4000 and your wide-angle lens is suddenly a telephoto. It was an okay entry point years ago. Now, it's a trap. Pentax K3 Mark E. Your runner-up for the worst camera to buy in 2025 is the Pentax K3 Mark III. This camera is a relic. It's a crop sensor DSLR that was released in a mirrorless world with a flagship-level price tag. The problem is simple, the price is completely delusional. For what the K3 Mark III costs, you could get a cutting-edge full-frame mirrorless camera from Sony, Canon, or Nikon. Instead, Pentax gives you a DSLR with autofocus that, while decent for a DSLR, is a joke compared to modern mirrorless tracking. And its video features are so basic they feel like an afterthought. The K3 Mark III is a camera built for a world that doesn't exist anymore. Unless you are a die-hard Pentax fanatic with a huge collection of K-mount lenses, there is no logical reason to buy this camera today. It is one of the worst values in all of photography. Canon EOS R100. And finally, the number one camera you should never, ever buy in 2025 is the Canon EOS R100. This camera isn't just bad, it feels like it was designed to make you hate photography. Marketed as the cheapest way into Canon's new system, the R100 is stripped of every feature that makes a camera enjoyable to use. No flip screen, no touch screen, no microphone jack. But the biggest insult of all, when you shoot in 4K, it loses Canon's famous dual-pixel autofocus and switches to a primitive and usable contrast detect system. Canon knowingly built a camera with crippling flaws to bully you into buying a more expensive one. It is a marketing trap, pure and simple. A beginner will buy this, struggle, and think, I'm just not good at photography. But it's not you, it's the camera. The EOS R100 actively sabotages new creators, and for that, it is without a doubt the single worst camera you can buy in 2025. So there you have it. 10 cameras, 10 reasons to keep your wallet in your pocket. The big takeaway here isn't that you need to spend a fortune. It's that you need to look past the hype and focus on what actually matters for making photos and videos today. In 2025, that means reliable autofocus that works for video. It means video features that don't come with huge penalties. And it means buying into a system that actually has a future. Don't fall for the marketing. Do your research, watch honest reviews, and get a tool that will actually help you be creative, not hold you back. What do you think? Did I miss any cameras that should be on this list? Let me know down in the comments. I read every single one. And if you want more brutally honest reviews to help you make the right choice, make sure you're subscribed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.